Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of VOD Review, or Unite Review, right? And we're going to jump into it today. I have gotten permission by the world's best player, Overlord, to review his game. And I've actually picked this game, a Glaceon game, because I want to show the breadth of talent and knowledge Overlord actually has over the game of Pokemon Unite. He's not just a regular player in this sense, where his mechanics are just outshining everyone else's. He thinks about the game in such a creative and clever way that constantly puts him ahead of his opponents. And I think this game is a good example of that. I think that throughout this experience, what I'm gonna basically be showing you and exploring is like just how uniquely he looks at the game and how he wants to be able to find advantages for himself, for his team, and how he angles that in the game, in his gameplay, and then in his attitude about the game. So of course, take it from me, we're gonna get started. Okay, and as the VOD review starts, yes, he isn't playing the signature Zoroark, which is, one of the best characters that he's ever played, and he owned that character, right? So he's playing Glaceon here. And I think this is also one of his strong characters as well. I've seen a few gameplays of it, and just getting into the mind of like one of the best players to touch this game, like you need to go and understand, oh, how does he do the clear? Oh, is there anything he's thinking about? Like, look, he's maximizing the auto attacks already onto the Xatu. Like, this is... It's nothing crazy yet, but, he finishes his buff on time. He waits a second just to make sure he gets the extra experience. He does have the Sableye invading on his team. Now, as you can see, there's all sorts of progressions and growth to find and learn from his experience. He's just holding in the bush, making sure that if they did invade him, they wouldn't know if the buff was there or not. And he looks like immediately getting the level 4 gank or to make active play on the map. Doing this is the essence of creativity, right? Like, I'm speaking about how a creative player like himself, he isn't going to do standard clear every single game. He sees that there's something available top lane. He has a strong top laner in Buzzwole. He sees the enemy top laners, then knows the weaker, and he just goes for something. And look at how he holds his range. This is a mastery of knowing how strong another character is and like how effective they are. He knows the Mamoswine's going to be effective at close range. He doesn't engage with it. He pokes it down, he lets Buzzwole do its thing, and then is able to get that kill. And now look, of course, he also leaves the farm for Buzzwole just there in the segment. A lot of players that are greedier, like, you would think that one of the world's best players and one of the hardest carries of all time is going to be a very greedy player. And, he leaves the farm, he knows the stacks are important and the experience is good for Buzzwole. He comes back up just seeing, doesn't have a preset routine. There's no, like, I'm going to do this in the game, and he's so set on it. He's flexible and adapting. He sees an opportunity to invade. He looks at it. No, okay, not happening. He doesn't force the game. And this is a big thing I see between the players who are great and the players who are the very best. Some players will try to force the game. And I myself, many times I'm caught forcing the game and making big mistakes off it. He's just playing the game as it is. He's gotten the team to do his buff. This is some good coordination from this level of gameplay. And, he's on to the next buff. And, willy-nilly. Now, look at the advantages created for the top lane. Now, of course, like, player differences, whatnot. Like, their team is playing well, and the jungler was invaded on the other side. But this is just an example of, like, setting yourself up for success, Of course, not every game he's going to have such a wonderful game start like this. And, like, no eject button, no unnecessary rush. He doesn't need to defeat this Umbreon, like, to the essence of the world. He doesn't need to run him down. He just needs to see what he's got. Like, I blow the eject and I can stay in this lane and farm. And he's actually not done the back Boltoys once this game. This is also a very interesting thing. I don't know if that's like a clearing inefficiency or an extreme speed type case where he's like, oh, okay, I'll clear it. And then now the Zoroark, he just debates the Zoroark. He still has a eject button this whole time. I want you to really look at his health bar. He's just been dove by Zoroark and the Umbreon closely to follow. I guess this is, like people know it's him and they want to take him down. But, like, that was a pretty half-assed effort from the Zoroark. And, yeah, you see, he's just holding the range. He's getting the pad boost speed. And then, yep, once again, finally gets a kill. Still has a eject button. Still, after all this time, has the eject button. Still hasn't died. He's just watching out for the Zoroark. Yep, good kiting. Good gameplay and everything. Sableye's getting some huge CC. I believe that's Egg-Momo. Haven't seen Momo in a while. And, yeah, just look at this. In and out, weaving playstyle. This is really how you want to exploit Glaceon's Icy Wind moveset. I do think that the better moveset is Spears, but, he's making Icy Wind look like... And finally, the flash comes out, right? The eject finally comes out to take down the Zoroark in this eject play. Was it really necessary? Probably not. Like, he doesn't need to do that, but it just extends his fight in that sense. Like, that if the Zoroark was alive, maybe it is a necessary play for them to finish, but he's just basically farming them at this point. Buzzwole has completely won the top lane. Not to say off the level 4 initiation the gank. And Wow, okay, it's getting close here. And the movement speed comes in, and poor Overlord, he's getting dove all game. He's a Glaceon, he's prancing around in the front lines. He is going to get dove and punished. But he ends up losing nothing, has Unite Charge, been able to farm the damage, been able to keep up the damage numbers, help the team keep this bot lane 5-man strong, even when with 4 players only there. So overall, you can see this is just a strong, solid gameplay, and it looks like they're going to go for the secure. I think that both of them have the good secure, but he's waiting to secure himself, just leaves on a 1. Actually, no, I'm pretty sure he got that. And so Unite onto the pad, just full aggro now. They see, like, look, he's able to switch up the styles. It's very much like a player. He's perceived as an extremely aggressive player, but I do believe this is a type of player who will be aggressive when given opportunities, and he looks at the game in opportunities. And that was an opportunity for him. Like in the Zoroark, really struggling. Like, look, this is a bad matchup into Zoroark. He's going against a Sableye, going against Buzzwole. Not really much to do. Double defenders running into... Oh, okay, they got him low health. And some kiting going in. And the team's just always helping out. They know it's Overlord. They're like, oh, we'll give you a helping hand. And he's just back into the base. I guess it's a bit of an insight into how these top competitive players want to think and play the game. He's looking for levels. He sees that, hey, look, a good time to reset. He pushes with his advantages, and he falls back with his experience. Think about the game like this, guys. Like, it's going to give you a big advantage. See, Overlord, he's level 12 at 4 minutes 40. He's not overly stumping the game, but it is a very, very good game for his side. And they're just overall winning. You can see he's like showing the Glaceon Icy Wind trick, just showing the infinite stacks with Shell Bell. I think he was explaining something about level 30 being essential if you're on ping, because you might not be able to get that half-second reset with the blue buff. And he's just looking around. And he sees, the rotation, the map awareness. Like, this is a player who's perpetually thinking, where is my opposition? Where do they want to go? What do I see in the map? What will that mean in, like, a second from now? What will that mean in 10 seconds from now? Of course, I don't think anyone's thinking, like, too far ahead. Like, how's someone going to rotate it against me in a minute? But he's definitely using that map knowledge, map awareness. He's checking the builds, checking, what levels the opponents are. It's just... Overall, this nice gameplay. Like, you can't fault it at all. The mechanics are good, and the game sense is on point. Now it's just pushing this. Now, see, this is something I also think that is a very interesting play, being able to, how far can you push a Regieleki? He just goes and takes a safe route. He just wants to see what happens, getting better positioning here, and just a lot of damage straight onto the Clefable. And I think that's just going to be Clefable Unite move, and they're just trying to get just down. And in exchange for bot lane, I think this is... a very interesting idea, right? A lot of players have been seeing that, I'm happy to give bot lane if we can get tier 2 and top lane. And I guess that's because the Wincon Regieleki is a lot more terrifying than a 10% buff to your stats and maybe 5 Aldinos. And I can't believe it, Sableye just gets that. It's actually crazy. Really scary. And, oh wow, Zoroark does not get to play. Like, this game is such a hard game for Zoroark. Once more, shout out to Overlord. Thank you very much for letting me review your game. Do enjoy watching from time to time. And yeah, you can see he's like farming on speed. He's going to get the guaranteed level 14, no effort needed. He could get 15 if he wanted to double clear, like about 10 seconds before, but I don't think it's going to be able to. And yeah, you just see he's just mainly looking for this blue buff. He's got the current one activated from the enemy team, and he's just clearing around the map. Everyone's sort of farming now, and like because they are so far ahead, there's not that much farm left. But oh wow, okay, being able to find these bees, get some damage onto the Zoroark, is just another death for Zoroark. It's just asphyxiating to be the Zoroark this game. You get invaded by the Sableye, your top lane's lost, and you then have Overlord like just sneaking into your jungle bit by bit, taking little bits, here and there. It's not fun at all, and I would assume that after a period of time, you start to get really annoyed. You want to dive this guy, and just some good spacing. Gonna get the red buff. This is a bit risky, like this is far up positioning, but it doesn't really matter. They're so far ahead, and he's just giving this Zoroark a really tough time. Overlord, you gotta leave this guy alone. Like, it's unable to play the game. And yep, looks like it's gonna be some type of Ray hitting. This is of course another aspect of the game. You've probably seen if you watch the last review. Ray was just such a mess, and the Cinderace ended up cleaning it up. And we're getting this review where you can see Overlord. He's hitting it, and then now look at the repositioning, re-angling his attention and focus. He's just still looking at the Ray health. Like, he's damaging the opponents, still looking at the Ray health. This is a top-tier player, guys. He's not someone who's going to let the Ray get randomly stolen from a Cinderace up above. And it is close for the other Espeon. I will say, it is close. If it was an other build, maybe it could have gone, like the pre-buffed Espeon. But look at this positioning. It's just... quite immaculate. He finds good damage on it and helps the Espeon secure. I mean, could he have gone a second later? Probably, but who knows? Like, anything can happen in the game Pokemon Unite, and I think that was a very good attempt. 32 FPS as well. Guys, Switch players don't have it easy out here. And, hey, look, it's a great win for Overlord. Like, this is just another example of, like, he's not just a player who plays speedsters, he's a player who has quite a diverse pool. And we saw that with this Venusaur, both builds. We see this with the Dodrio, with the other types of characters he's played. Started from a Lucario main to a very, very profound player with a deep move pool. And, I'd say one of the best game senses in the game. Forget mechanics. Like, of course, he's great mechanically, but the game sense he has and the understanding of, like, how the game Pokemon United's played, it's just right on point. A 40-second death timer, a well-deserved. The first step of the game is after the game is over. A wonderful gameplay from Overlord. You're not going to get better than that. Guys, if you want to know how to carry, you got to go watch this guy. He's amazing. He's great. He has a YouTube channel. He has a Twitch. I'll link them up in the video. And once more, I want to thank him. Thank you for letting us review this game. I'm sure he's just, in this moment, he's commenting, damn good. Nice game. Nice game indeed. Because it is. Everything about it was nice. He had complete control. Did he have a better team and the better team comp? Maybe we could argue that a little bit. But I would like to say, his game positioning, his awareness, understanding, led the team to victory from the jungle position. That's why Central is such a valuable role, guys. Like, just being able to push the tempo, push the pace, from the creativity to clear to the finishing of the game, and, like, the nice pacing of the Rayquaza. Zapdos, I'm next season. It's coming. But, yes, the pacing of the game was on point, and it delivered. And a 1,000-point victory with 15 kills and 14 assists. Hey, you can't get much better. That's a 29 kill participation for 1 death ratio. 29 KD or Overlord game. Like, wow, like, just impressive. Okay, the enemy team have not the greatest team comp. No, but his team didn't even have a real, like, a healer. They didn't have a tank, I guess. But hey, look, like, they popped off, Game that recognizes game. I hope everyone had a wonderful time watching this VOD. And, we'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.